Hey guys, gonna show you how to build some floating nightstands. Just oh, this is dangerous.
Alright, ladies and germs, let's start off by cutting to rough length some cherry boards. Now these nightstands are going to be 9 inches deep, so that means I will have to glue up some panels. No big deal, just a little extra more milling since my joiner can only take 8 inches. And anyway, I continue to mill the faces of my boards, and I plane the opposite face at the planer. I joint the edge at the jointer, and I rip the opposing edge at the ripper. Just kidding, it's called a table saw. After milling them square, I lay out my boards that will become the panels and appreciate how lucky I got at this grain. Looks like a resawn, no? From there, I super speed up this glue up because they're really boring to watch and they're really stressful to do. So I put a piece of glue at the joint and used a lot of clamps, making sure everything was flat. 10 speed, go, parkour. In a feat of video editing, the glue has dried and I can remove the clamps. These are the panels, all glued up. Have to clean up the glue line and square off the edges, but I guess that's what I'm going to be doing here. I'm doing this voiceover after I edited the video, and sometimes I don't remember what I did, so we're on this journey together. I guess it was a little not that flat, so I take a card scraper to flatten up the high points. That looks pretty flat to me. Pass through the planer to square up, flatten up the other face. What's the difference between square and flat? Like, is it more than one side, like 3-dimensional compared to 2-dimensional? I need more coffee. After that edge is jointed, I can rip to final width at the table saw. Everything seems to be going good. Let's give ourselves a thumbs up. Yeah, just don't give me video editing software because stuff like that happens because I get bored and distracted easily. Anyway, I lied earlier. Now I'm ripping to final width. I'm silly and didn't watch the full video before I started this voiceover. So, like I said, we're on this journey together and we're gonna get there in the end. Right now I am taking a triangle and marking very roughly where my miters will go. It's important when cutting miters to have pretty thorough layout because I don't know about you, but me personally, I always get turned around upside down when cutting miters at the table saw. I just lose my place, I cut the wrong side, and things are upside down backwards. So good layout is important. And with proper layout, I can hopefully successfully do a quick little dry assembly fit put together with some blue tape. Very satisfying just to kind of roll it up like a square slinky. No, that doesn't make sense. Like you know what I'm talking about, like those things that fold nicely. Origami, is that it? I don't know. Anyway, I taped it up, dry fit, checked the miters, looking at this beautiful waterfall effect. Don't go chasing water. Okay, because miters aren't inherently very strong on their own, it's really important to reinforce them with something. You can either use splines or keys, but in this case, I decide to use itsy bitsy teeny weeny Festool dominoes. Why, may you ask? Because I like using that tool. It's easy, it works, and I have it. So, bite me if you think that's cheating. That's getting old, huh? Anyway, so now I need to cut a groove in the back of the case parts that will house a 1/4-inch plywood backing. I cut all my grooves for plywood backings this way because plywood is never the size it says it should be, and doing it this way I can get a perfect fit without having to deal with shims and dado stacks, and you know, I'm just lazy. That's what it is. It's just laziness, and you know, it works. And now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the video, and my favorite part to do, sand, and real time. Yeah. Once the pieces are sanded, I am able to start my glue up, and I do this by getting glue on the dominoes, in the mortises, on the miters, and a little bit where the plywood backing will set into place. I put it in a miter clamp and let it dry, and while the glue's drying, I can start my drawers. It's funny how the process works. Things are drying, I could start something else. Anywho, I cut the fronts and backs of what will be the drawers to their final width, and I use a dado stack to cut a rabbit groove? Dado? I forget which is which. Anyway, you'll see it all come together in a nice, cute little box.
Oops.
Yeah, pretend those are end clamps. Okay, I think someone's gonna have to come and delete all the stock sound effects in my Final Cut studio. Just like I did for the case pieces, putting in the plywood backing, I am doing pretty much the same exact thing with the drawer pieces that will hold the drawer bottoms. Bottoms. It's all in the hips.
Just tap it in. Just tap it in. Give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo.
Anyway, just like that, I have the grooves cut for the drawer bottoms with a nice snug friction fit, and we are good to go. I continue cutting the grooves on all the pieces, and they will all have the correct proper fit. Just like that. Now, with drawers, I found that the best way to get the proper width for the fronts and backs is to do a test assembly with the drawer slide and the sides of the drawers. So at the chop saw, I am able to snugly approach the right fit, and it works. And once everything's screwed in, that's going to be a nice slide and moving drawer. Good stuff. I sand the drawer pieces because I just love sanding. And I sand the cases because I just love sanding. You gotta do it though, otherwise it's not good. I break the edges on the insides and the outsides because you just gotta do. Yeah, you get the point. You gotta sand. With a piece of plywood clamped to the drawer, I can get the drawer slide in the proper place. Now with a mini square, I can set the depth of the drawer. So this is one of the preferred methods I like to use to attach false drawer fronts to drawer boxes. You take a cabinet screw from the inside and put it in enough just to hurt your little fingy when you poke it. And that way you're able to take your false drawer front and just give it a little tap with shims for the reveal. And as you can see, perfectly placed little notches, little dents, where you're able to carefully pre-drill for those cabinet screws that you saw me just make those little dents. Oh boy, the exciting point, the exciting part! For a finish, I'm using tried and true Danish oil. I love this stuff. It is gorgeous, especially on cherry. I put a first very, very light coat. Oh yeah. Very light, very nice hand rub finish. It looks so good. Oh, and this is the best part. Oh yeah. Okay, whoa, slow down, Trev. It's just wood. Anyway, after letting the Danish oil soak in for about 5 minutes, I take a clean, lint-free cloth and I rub the excess off. Not shown here, but I add another 5 coats to this because it looks great. Now, once the finish has cured, I can attach the drawer fronts to the drawer box. And because it's a very small drawer, my drill didn't fit in, so I had to use a 90-degree drill thingamabob, which worked just fine. So I have to add these nailer strips to the back of the case so we can attach it to the wall, since they will be floating, which is the whole point of this frickin' thing anyway. So I went with eagle clips because I wasn't exactly sure where the stud was going to be, even though I measured it in the first place. But it gives you a little bit of wiggle room on the wall, which is good. Well, everyone, here it is in all its glory. I think they turned out pretty swell. And I think you can make one too, if you're so inclined. And you have a table saw and a woodworking shop. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys. I think it came out pretty swell. I think the waterfall effect is my favorite part, next to the curly spalted maple drawer fronts, because those are sexy. Anyway, please like, please subscribe, please share, do all those fun YouTube things. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Does it look like I'm floating?